I mean, it is a pretty big story that a former president convicted on 34 felonies.
It's a big story for a couple days. In 30 years.
Which is crazy to say that now, though, right? Like, welcome back to Nanodosing. What's up, party people? It is Tuesday. It is June 4th, and we are back. Today's episode is brought to you by our great friends over at Sport Clips. Your hair might grow fast, but after going to Sport Clips haircuts, you will wish that it grew even faster. That's because Sport Clips has the best seats and hair that may or may not be because they happen to be right in front of TVs playing sports all day, every day. We know that watching sports while getting a haircut sure beats watching your reflection get a haircut, which is why at Sport Clips, every day is clippers and curveballs, high tops, Hail Marys, even waves and wickets if you're into that kind of thing. At Sport Clips, you can check in with the pros in men's hair. You can totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. So yeah, come watch an endless stream of sports on TV while getting an awesome haircut. Sport Clips, it's a game changer. Check it out right now. Check out Sport Clips. Get a haircut. Get the hot steam towel. Get the MVP experience, the best experience you can have while getting your haircut. And yeah, they got sports on. All right, we're back, people. It's a good, solid weekend. Short week last week. Why isn't every week a 4-day week? That was awesome. That was a great time.
They're gonna be on you. That's a big discussion. Bernie Sanders tried to do that, didn't he? That's a big leftist push. Make 4-day weekends a thing.
Well, there's also the that one dude that wrote like the 4-hour work week.
Yeah,
where you can get all your shit done in 4 hours. I don't think that's necessarily true. And if it is, it just shows that people are wildly inefficient at work to begin with. But I'm in favor of people taking less time at work and more time chilling.
Well, now every company, like all of my friends, they all, every job that I know of them having, they have summer Fridays where just like every other Friday, the company's like, yeah, just don't even bother showing up.
I like that.
I think everybody's just come to the conclusion that like on Fridays in June and July, people are not going to do much anyway.
Barstool has their own summer Fridays. It's you guys playing pickup.
Well,
that's every Friday.
That's also work,
that's
Mad Dog.
Yeah, that's good.
Right.
Team building.
Sorry.
And also exercise is good.
Yeah.
It makes us more productive.
And creative.
And it saves money to the insurance companies, so we get in better shape.
Mm-hmm.
We don't play basketball. We don't play sports at work because it's fun. You think I'm in the golf simulator because I enjoy it? No, I'm doing it so I can make Barstool more money.
Right.
That's why I do it.
You know what? I apologize for thinking you guys weren't grinding.
There is some truth to that, though, Big T, where if people aren't really working on Fridays in the summertime anyways, if you give them 4-day work weeks every other week, then they're going to work harder on Thursday.
Yeah.
They're going to get all their shit done on Thursday.
Mental well-being, man. It just gives people a chance to breathe and enjoy their life. Nobody wants to just work all the time, man. You got to let people breathe.
Right. And people bounce around from job to job. They go where the grass is greener. If they're going to get a raise somewhere, if they're going to be happier somewhere else, you find a different job. And if you're at a company that gives you every other Friday off in the summertime, then you're like, I don't really want to lose that. It's good for like employee retention. Or if just everybody coming out of college was like, you know what? Let's all just agree that we're not going to take any jobs that aren't 4 days.
That can't stop all of us.
Yeah, exactly. But then there'll be some people that are like, yeah, I'm going to work.
That's the main thing I see. Like when you see these like motivational speech gurus, you know what I mean, and they're telling people to like grind and just like there is some truth to that, right? Like not everybody has the fortitude to be an entrepreneur. I believe that wholeheartedly. Like I got a bunch of homies who are like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm like, dog, like why do you want to be? It's miserable. Like being wealthy like that it's a miserable existence for a certain period of time. It really is. And like
I'll test it.
But in order to get to that, you have to be like miserable. I'm telling you, bro. Every millionaire I know is like that. It's like there's this grind period where people were sleeping on couches and not sleeping at all and eating ramen and just yada. But like there's something to be said about having a really good job and living a really good life and just enjoying your people. Like that is a solid option. Not everybody has to be an entrepreneur. That's a miserable life to a certain extent.
I would say that some people, I wouldn't call it like fortitude, but some people it's just not in their genetic makeup to want to be an entrepreneur and start their own business. Like everyone's got different skill sets and interests and things that they're good at. And that's a different skill set. Not everybody has that. Not everyone has that motivation. Doesn't mean that you're a worse person. Just some people. And the people that are like really, really into the grind, those people, like they're also very selfish people to a large extent.
Absolutely.
And, being selfish can be good for a lot of things. You can get a lot of shit done. You can feel good about yourself, but also you sacrifice a lot on the other side. I'll say I was never miserable when I was like starting writing and I was getting paid dog shit. I was happy with that. And when we started Pardon My Take, like, yeah, it's a lot of hours and it's a grind for sure. Like you get exhausted. We're traveling a lot and we still do, but we weren't making much money at the start of it. But that was fun. Like I fully recognize we have a very different type of job where even the grind can be really, really fun when you're just like getting on a plane and flying to do interviews and getting to go to different like training camps and sporting events. Like that's fun. That's fun shit.
Yeah.
But it does get tired.
I think you would be the exception, not the rule. When you're talking about like average entrepreneurs that are starting a business, stuff like that, there are aspects like of it because it's like, you're never working when you're having fun with what you do. There's aspects and there's some truth to that. But I'm talking about just like, I used to envy like my family, like coming into town and like they could just relax and come to the game. And I couldn't enjoy life with them. You know what I mean? Like even in the summertime, I was always grinding. It was always something. And I don't know. I just realized over the times that there's something to like just enjoying your life, and there's nothing wrong. I think people. I don't want to disrespect anybody. I'm just saying, like in general, there's nothing wrong with having a good job, living a good life, and enjoying that motherfucker. There's nothing wrong with that.
You did retire at 30.
Yeah.
So is your life good now?
Yeah, but again,
right,
so
you grinded from like 14 to 30, and then 30 to 80.
Whoa, don't short me. I've been grinding since I was like 7, dog. But
okay. So 7 to 30, 23 years, and then the next 50, you're good to go.
Yeah, but again, there's also something to be said to that, right? Because when you exist in this society and you retire so young, that comes with a lot of baggage. There's a reason why there's a lot of like retired, depressed athletes. It's not because, we're just, ungrateful. It's because there's something to be said about having a fulfilling purpose and having something drive you. And when that's gone, you have to create a new identity. You have to find a new identity. And that's really hard to do. And I know it's like, whoa, I'd rather have those problems. I mean, you say that until you in it. Like, I think I got lucky in a sense. It was like, I never identified myself with football. I never looked at myself as a football player. I looked at myself as a player that played football, or as a person that played football. But, and there was always something else to me. And I have other interests, but I struggled with my own bout of depression for years. You just feel lifeless sometimes. And when you wake up and there's no structure, there's nobody telling you what to do, you can do whatever you want. That sounds fun until you actually have it. And then you're like, dog, I got to sit with myself. And all your flaws come to surface. All everybody else's flaws come to surface. Societal flaws come to surface. I know this sounds like I'm grandstanding, but it's a real thing that I've seen all my peers deal with depression. All my peers deal with like alcoholism, drug abuse, because those guide rails and that structure that is society help with mental clarity and mental health.
That's why you got to start playing golf.
That's facts. That helps with everything. Facts.
I hit a bunker shot from 164 yards to within about a foot of the cup yesterday. Not to brag. Not to brag. Felt pretty good.
Did you make the putt?
No.
Damn.
It wasn't actually a foot. It was like 3.5 feet. But no, I missed that putt.
Tough slope.
Well, I picked it up. The guy told me it was good, but I did in fact miss the putt. 8 iron.
8 from 160.
164.
Out the
fairway
sand.
bunker.
That's good contact, right? That's clean contact.
Picked it clean. Beautiful ball flight. Felt really good about it. Yeah. No, I understand what Arian's saying for sure. Like if you have something that your identity is wrapped around that you've done for so long, then not having that anymore, it's like, okay, what do I do now? Like you're used to being the man who's a football player and being known for being a football player. Now that's gone. You know what
football impacted individual.
Yeah, football
not a football player.
Football impacted individual.
Old folks deal with that too, though. So it's not just young folks. Retiring in general.
Yeah. Like
that's why if you have grandparents that are still alive, or older parents that are still alive, check on them because they are lonely. And that purposefulness, I guess, that existed when they're rearing kids or when they have a job, that is who we are as human beings. We are communal apes, primates. That's who we are. And when that's taken away, that seclusion kills people. That is a scientific fact.
Yep, that's a fact. The people that I don't really trust much are the people that their entire career is that they want to be a CEO. You know, like they don't have a passion about something that they want to develop, or a product or an idea. They just want to be a CEO. They just want to be a founder of something, and they don't care what it is. They just want to be known as the man,
the boss.
And then that's a weird thing to want as a career. And I guess different people are wired differently for me. But it's never
That's how
been.
you can tell a good boss. It's how you can tell if you have a good boss. If you say, "Hey, boss," or something like that, be like, "Man, look, we work together. Don't call me a boss." That's how you know if you have a good boss.
Yeah. Or well, no, I'm Big T's boss for sure.
I don't think that's accurate.
Besides that,
on the chart,
in these walls,
in
between these walls, when you step into my dojo, no, but like people that are just like, I want to run a company. That's what I want to do. I want to be in charge of running an entire company when I grow up. That's a weird mindset to have to me. Like if you have a good product, if you come up with a good idea about something, and you're like, dude, I want to start this company. I want to start hiring people, and I want to make this product as big as possible. To me, that's more of a normal thing than just saying like, one day, I don't know what company it's going to be, but I'm going to be telling people what to do, and that's going to be my job, and I can't wait for that moment. All right, but that said, if you are the type of person that just wants to start a company and run it, have it be a cool company that does good shit that I can use, that people can use, feel good about.
What are 3 companies that make good shit right now?
I'm gonna say Sport Clips.
Yep.
BetterHelp.
I was at Sport Clips last week.
And canned seltzers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who was that? Shaq? Was it Shaq when he was like, he's like, man, I'm tired of people calling athletes selfish and all we care about is money. Man, all I want to do is just drink my Gatorade, wear my Reeboks, and play good basketball.
Oh, Shaq. Okay, how many brands can you name right now that Shaq puts his face on?
Papa John's, Krispy Kreme, the General Insurance,
Gold Bond,
Icy Hot,
a
printer. He does he works for a printer company. Like either Canon
I saw
or
Home Depot. Depot.
That sounds right. That checks out.
I saw him a commercial at Home Depot the other day.
He's got Shaq Steaks. Like he does meat.
Oh, does he really?
He's got a meat thing going on. Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Shaq Printers. Let's see what printing company he works for. Printer company.
Is it Xerox? No, it isn't Xerox.
Epson. Shaq and Epson, a winning team.
Okay.
I love Shaq, man. Just if you're gonna be like, if you're gonna put your name on things, be completely unashamed about it. Just say, fuck it, I'm gonna sponsor everything.
Everything.
He's in the running for like the richest athlete ever. He's made way more money after he played than during.
Magic Johnson up there too.
Yeah, he might be it.
Yeah. With Shaq, I wonder if you could do a Shaq, if you could just survive for a month only using Shaq endorsed products.
There's an article says top 50 Shaq endorsements. This is just the top 50, dog. Sleep apnea mask, power balance bracelet, iGo headphones, Susta sugar substitute, Quick Sticks, Call Snap app, Apollo Jets, Enlightened diet strips, Shackdown app, Tout, Audemars Baguette watches. I didn't know he was Audemars. Toys R Us, that was for charity. Something called Black Phone. 24-hour fitness, Radio Shack, Soup Man, Zell's, Soda Shack. Jesus Christ. It just goes on. Let's see what the top 10 are. The top 10 are Burger King, Triple Double Oreos, Reebok, Wheaties, Pepsi, Mr. Big, Icy Hot, Nestle Crunch, Taco Bell, Shack Fu, Vodka, Buick, Gold Bond, Vitamin Water, Drone Watches.
Buick, that's right.
Oh,
and Chuck told him, ain't no way your big ass can fit in that Buick.
I remember that, yeah.
So this is,
my man is a billboard.
You could live the rest of your life on the Shaq diet
for sure,
of only using Shaq products to do anything in life.
Easily.
Probably have a pretty happy life. You need anything? You want me to print something up? Fax me over your driver's license. I'm gonna print that up for you.
Pretty low there, man. That's pretty impressive.
That's Shaq. That's Shaq, baby. All right. Well, let's get into some of the news of today. We've got some voicemails we want to get into today also on nanodosing. This is kind of a recent trend on macrodosing. We have to go back and retroactively correct a story that we talked about on the previous episode. We did that last time with Red Lobster and the real reason they went out of business. Although, I mean, definitely still shout out to America for eating so much shrimp that we cost Red Lobster millions of dollars. That's awesome. Good job, America. The viral driver's license guy that got put in jail because he joined the court meeting on Zoom. Plot twist. Yeah, and also it was a very funny video when you saw the look on his face when the judge was like, and you're driving right now. It was funny. But there's been an update to the story. Apparently, this dude had his license reinstated in 2022, but a court worker forgot to file one piece of paperwork that would have officially given him his license back. So he was told his license was back. They just didn't do their job on the court's end. So technically he had a suspended license, but it shouldn't have been suspended.
Well, no, it wasn't an employee. It was, so the judge ordered the suspension to be reversed, pending it says a friend of the court issuing I don't know what the paperwork was, a brief basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it said it was something over child support. So I don't know if it's like his former wife or something who was supposed to submit something to the court, and then like he could have just paid some fees and gotten his license back.
Mm-hmm.
But that never happened. So even though the judge, but I don't know, I don't think he knew that. So he was told like, you're good.
Yeah.
And then that never happened. So it never like updated in the system.
Right. So the friend of the court, maybe a lawyer can help us out on this. A friend of the court is someone who does not actually work directly for the court system, but is used by the court frequently to file paperwork and administrative stuff. It's like a lawyer that has...
I thought it just meant anyone could be a friend of the court if you're involved in a case or something.
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know what a friend of the court is.
Like in this case, the friend of the court is his ex-wife or whoever who needed to do the thing. That's my understanding. That could be wrong.
Well, the bottom line is this guy should not have had his license suspended.
Right.
And he did get put in jail, but then it turns out, oh yeah, somebody fucked up that wasn't him.
Yeah.
It's still an all-time video.
Oh, yeah.
I hope this guy can laugh at it.
I loved this guy from the beginning.
Yeah. I hope this guy can watch the video and appreciate that he went viral and laugh about it. He'd probably be able to sue, right?
You would. People have sued for less.
Sue the friend of the court for defamation?
Yeah. I can see you winning that case.
Because his character did get besmirched.
Yeah.
Like everybody in America that's online saw this guy and was like, that guy became the face of the world's dumbest criminal.
I feel like most people loved him, though.
We loved him, but also because he was the world's dumbest criminal.
I guess. But yeah, I'd assume that there's something he can do. I don't know.
Okay. A friend of the court is referencing a person or group who is not party to an action but has a strong interest in the matter. Okay, yeah, so it might be...
Yeah, so like you could be a friend of the court if there was a case involving podcasters or something.
Okay, amicus
curiae.
That's me. Yeah, I do that. But yeah, hopefully this guy can watch it and be like, yeah, that's pretty funny. He did come across looking good in it.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, shout out that dude.
Real quick, I wanted to address something. Y'all remember the story a while back about the orcas that were attacking boats?
Yep.
Yeah.
So they figured out why. Because traditionally, orcas have never been aggressive towards humans, and so that's why this was such an anomaly. So they figured it out. There was a group of researchers that started studying it, and they found out that there was in 2019 there was like a food shortage in the population of where this was happening, and then since then there was like a population growth of those same, I think it was bluefin tunas, my bad. And so some juvenile orcas got kind of bored, and they were just started playing with boats. and so they just were fucking with them. It was just purely for fun. There was no aggression intended. And so they were I was reading this article and they were saying how orcas tend to like have like cultural fads. So there was this one fad I was reading about where they all put salmon on their heads as like hats. And so like there's a bunch of like young orcas wearing salmon hats. And so like they were just fucking with these boat rudders for fun. And it was just a cultural fad that was going on for a while. And so that's pretty fucking cool, man. I fuck
So
with orcas.
orcas were flipping boats as a TikTok trend?
Well, they were just yeah, kind of, but they were just fucking with the rudders and it was causing damage, but they weren't like trying to like hurt anything or anybody. But they've been known to like fuck with their prey just flippantly and not trying to do anything bad to it, but they end up killing it because they're just such powerful beasts. But yeah, it's all just, kids being kids, man.
That's crazy.
That is, yeah. They were just look at me. I've got this salmon as a hat. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? A whale wearing a hat and it's a fish. They're all laughing. You're like, dude, this guy's fucking hilarious.
He goes, I'm gonna give me. Where'd you get that?
I love her. She's so random.
She's so crazy. She's so crazy. She has a salmon on her head.
She's so quirky.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I thought for a while that this was the beginning of the whale uprising.
Yeah.
This is going to be Planet of the Whales.
I saw that. Did you see the Kingdom of the Apes?
I thought about watching that on Saturday. I did not because I didn't see the second one, but it looked. I watched Civil War instead.
So fair enough. So randomly, my kids like we'll just binge watch a series, right? And so we binge watched like last week, and this is before I knew the movie was coming out. But I was like, "Have y'all ever seen Planet of the Apes?" They was like, "Nah." I was like, "It's a dope little series." So we watched the first three: Rise, Dawn, and War. And they were all into it, and then after like they came back, like, "Yo, Kingdom is out." I said, "What is Kingdom?" They said, "Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes." So it was a new one that came. I didn't even know it was coming out. It was just random happenstance, which is dope. So we went to go watch it last night. I fuck with it, man. It's Caesar's gone. Caesar died in the last one, and I miss Caesar. He was like one of the best heroes of all time in any film. But I liked it, man. It's set in the future. The graphics are just getting. No, I can't imagine in 10 years, 20 years what the graphics are going to be. Because right now, it looks so real to me. It's wild. Well done movie.
I watched the trailer for it, and it looked awesome. But I was like, I'm going to be lost if I didn't see the second one. So
yeah, you should watch them in succession. It's a great series.
Yeah, I will. I'll check that out. But I did see Civil War. I was a little bit disappointed with Civil War. It's probably for the best that they made it this way. But there was like no politics or ideology involved at all in Civil War. It was pretty much like, okay, the United States is at civil war just trust us. Some shit's happened, and now California and Texas are united and trying to take over the federal government. But it was
so they didn't get into the reasons as well. I mean, recent right-wing propaganda has, developed a whole faction of the reason as to why we even went to war. So that it makes sense why they stayed away from it.
I think they didn't want to add fuel to a fire and make like a major Hollywood blockbuster and have it be, okay, libs versus conservatives. I feel like that would have been bad. Yep. I kind of agree with that. That would have been not a great thing for the country to go check out in theaters.
Also, I'm kind of cool off war movies. You know, like war and slave movies. I'm cool off them, man. Like, I'm good.
I still like a good war movie. I still do.
I'm cool. I think I'm cool off of them, man.
Was it The Covenant? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Outstanding movie.
That was good. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. How good of a director do you have to be to get your name put in front of every movie that you make? Like, what's that level going to be like for you?
I feel like you kind of just have to be arrogant enough.
Yeah. I mean,
does this guy do that?
Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, yeah.
Does he do that for every movie?
I don't know if he does it for every movie, but he definitely did for that one. And then there are other movies like a Spike Lee joint. It's almost like part of the title.
Steven Spielberg.
Yep. Steven Spielberg's Planet of the Apes.
Tarantino.
Yeah, you have to be a big shot. But yes, also probably an ego involved in that as well.
Covenant was the last really good war movie I saw, I think. But I don't watch a ton of war movies.
It was good. It was intense. Yeah, Civil War, I give it 3.5 balls out of 5. It's
not
good.
Bad.
Good, not great. There's some intense scenes in it for sure. Also, it's told entirely through the point of view of journalists covering the war, which is fine. Like, I feel like if you have a journalist embedded, like there was a really good TV series that came out, Generation Kill, back in the 2000s about the invasion of Iraq. And it was kind of told, it was about the soldiers, but also there was a reporter who was embedded in the group. I thought that did a really good job, was like having the reporter there, but the entire story wasn't centered around like the reporter and how heroic the reporter is for doing their job. This one was basically like photojournalists are the heroes that walk amongst us.
Yeah, I remember reading that it's like a journalism movie, basically.
Yeah, it's a journalism movie set against the backdrop of a United States Civil War. I think for movie purposes that they probably couldn't have had, they could have done with a little bit less of that and a little more of like, show me the dudes that are fighting this war. Show me what makes them tick. But yeah, 3.5 balls out of 5 for that one. What else do we want to get into before we get the voicemails coming? There's a couple things.
You want to talk about Trump?
Oh yeah, Trump got he got convicted, 34 counts, 34 felonies. He's asking the Supreme Court to appeal it. I don't think that's how the justice system works. I think it has to go through a few different levels first before it gets to the Supreme Court. But he's going to try. There was a very funny picture. I don't know if it's true because I saw it online and I did not check the source of it. But please tell me that this is true. It was the Secret Service agents delivering his lunch to the court office. Did you see that?
No.
And there's like 12 bags of McDonald's that these dudes in suits are marching through the courthouse. It's a very funny picture. I hope that it's true.
I would just like to congratulate Jake Tapper. This was the biggest day of his life. He believed he was covering Watergate and was super excited about it, so I'm very happy for him.
I mean, it is a pretty big story that a former president convicted on 34 felonies.
It's a big story for a couple days. In 30 years.
Which is crazy to say that now, though, right? Like, if this...
When Donald Trump dies, okay, which is going to be far fewer than 30 years, how far down the list?
You can watch out on this episode. I mean, this podcast.
I'll take my chances. How far down the list will that be?
I mean, he's done some wild shit. So
yeah, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about that he was the president.
I mean, if you think of any other person who's been president, if they got convicted of 34 crimes after they...
Well, if they were political prisoners, they could have been.
Okay, well, think about it.
Let's just think about
what do you know about Bill? What do you remember about Bill Clinton?
Blowjob.
Yep.
And that
also paid off sexual...
That's what's up, but that's just a very
worse.
light accusation that never even saw a day in court. He actually got convicted. He got impeached twice. This man is fucking... This is going to be a very memorable thing on his Carfax.
I'm not sure.
I think it's gonna be memorable, but there's so much other crazy shit that's going on in his life. Like, forget about just the last few years. His entire life has just been nuts.
I think it will be mentioned as something that happened, but right before he got elected again.
It could be.
If he ends up going to jail, it'll be a huge thing.
I want that. I want them to try to put him in jail.
All right. So I've said this before that every president should go directly to jail after they're in office because they're going to commit crimes while they're there. And it should be like service to your country. You get to be president. You don't get any of the perks afterwards. You're in prison. I stand by that. I think it would be pretty funny if Trump got elected president and he had to serve as president from prison. Like he's on the phone. He's calling people who are coming visit. He's got like his chief of staff coming to the prison to visit him. They're talking through the glass, giving his instructions. He's taking like diplomatic meetings in there. He's having like the president of Mexico over, and he's got the Goodfellas set up where he's like shaving garlic in the back room, making dinner for him in prison. That would be a nice little wrinkle for America, I think. Something new we haven't seen yet.
I would take that over Biden in a heartbeat.
You would take Trump in prison.
Yes.
Over Joe Biden.
And I'm not a huge Trump guy.
You're just a big anti-Biden guy.
Oh, he's the fucking worst.
Yeah, so this is going to be a very interesting election. I don't know what's going to happen.
I don't even think, even if they wanted to, I don't think it's logistically possible to put him in jail.
Why?
So what, the Secret Service goes to jail too?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Like they would have to be there.
We're in uncharted territory. Yeah, you definitely can't put Trump in gin pop. Although if you did, you ever seen that movie, The Last Castle?
Never heard of it.
With Robert Redford. James Gandolfini runs a prison. Robert Redford's like a well-respected general that gets, I think he got like politically prosecuted or something. He goes to this prison, and within like 3-4 months, he's got them all like doing drills for him. They end up taking over the prison, commandeering tanks, and the prisoners start to run the asylum. Trump might like form his own private army. He might just take over the prison.
If they could embed a Netflix crew with Trump in jail, I'd pay. So say he's president, or even if he's not, just him running the jail. I don't care if he's running the jail or the country. I just want to see him in jail running something.
Yeah.
I'd pay $500 a season to watch it.
Yeah, I think
maybe more.
I think a lot of people would. It would be the TV event of the decade.
It'd be unbelievable.
It's Oz, but for a president. I don't know about the logistics about him getting locked up. I don't know if it's possible to.
I don't think
you'd have to have him in his own prison. It would
Yeah.
have to be just like a prison built for Donald. They kick everybody else out, and just Trump goes in.
I can't even imagine, even for this sham of a thing, that they would put him in jail. But even if they wanted to, I don't think they can.
What about exile? That's why they used to do exiles back in the day with like Napoleon. You can't put Napoleon in prison. They knew that he'd be too popular. Somebody would break him out. The prisoners would all end up fighting for him on his side, so they just sent him to an island somewhere. Where would they send Trump if they were to exile him?
How many people live in Guam?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I just know Guam is. We've got Guam.
Exile him to the Bass Pro Shop Pyramid, Memphis, Tennessee.
That could be good.
171,000 people live in Guam.
That's a lot of voters.
Well, you keep calling it a sham. I'm interested. You don't think he broke the law?
No, it seems like he did, but I mean,
why do you call it a sham? Dude?
Well, because they're come on, dude. Like, you know,
I'm
Biden
curious.
broke the law, and they were like, yeah, this guy definitely broke the law.
What law?
I'm just
What law
not
did he
going to
break?
prosecute him because
What law did he break?
The same thing Trump did, the having classified documents. And the guy was
That's
like,
not
yeah,
why Trump. That's not why Trump's
that's
going to
not
jail.
in this. That wasn't this trial,
but that's not why Trump's going to jail. And
that
also,
wasn't this trial. But Trump did have
This is
a
a-
thing
this
with
is a
that,
what-
and then
this is a-
Biden did the same thing, and the
he
guy
didn't
was
do the same thing.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
No, he didn't, bro.
Yes, he
This is
literally
what-
did.
this is what- You know, I'm not a Biden fan, right? You know that,
Yes.
right? Okay, so if there was a possibility to get that motherfucker in jail, I'm all for it, bro. I am all for it.
I don't
I'm
remember
all
if it was
for it.
Department of Justice or who it was, but they were like, yeah, he definitely did this, but he's an old, frail man, and we couldn't get a conviction, so, like, we're not going to charge him for it.
When they asked, he gave them
But he did have them.
100%. When they asked, he gave them. When they asked Trump, he said no. And then
Okay,
he
so
lied.
that's a separate thing, but the
Then
thing
he
before
lied. Hold on.
that,
And he lied. That is against the law.
yes.
And then they even gave him more leniency. They're like, "Come on, bro," and he was like, "No." And then he lied and said, "I can do whatever. I'm the president. I can unclassify this if I want." This is what I'm saying. Y'all keep switching the goalposts. That's why.
No.
It's not. It's just not rational.
Okay, just answer this. Do you think that what Trump did was, one, a big deal at all, and two, worthy of 34 felonies, and then three, do you think what percentage of presidents would you say have done equal or worse?
Okay, that's a very loaded question. I'll do my best to answer it, but it's a very nuanced answer, right? I liken it to this. If that was the first thing that Trump did that didn't ruffle anybody's feathers, no, you're absolutely right. It would be probably swept under the rug, slap on the wrist. Probably shouldn't do that, dog. But the litany of things that he has done and his long list of fucking people over, long list of lying,
You're making my point.
No, I'm not.
People hate him.
But there's a reason. And the reason is because he lies all the time and he's been fucking people over legally for a long time. And so when people finally get a chance to stick him on something, they go and stick him. This is not like...
So we agree.
When you call him a political prisoner, like, you should look at what political prisoner means, because it's just not an honest depiction of what a political prisoner is. Like, there are people who actually fought for like real causes, and he's covering up fucking a porn star, bro. This is nowhere near the same category as like a real political
yes,
person,
I
bro.
agree. It's trivial and meaningless.
But why as a Republican won't you acknowledge that this man's flaws are the reason why he's in the predicament that he's in? And it's not because the left wants to get him. It's because he constantly pushes the boundaries of legality and morality. And
I do acknowledge. I think those are intertwined with each other.
Okay, but then when you come back and say, well, Biden did the same thing. No, he didn't. He did.
Well, he did. He committed a crime, and then they were like, "Well, yeah, but we're not going to prosecute him."
As my brother Eric says all the time, all presidents commit crimes. They
Agreed.
are all war criminals. They are all murderous people. I agree. I'm not with you. I'm with you. But there is. It's like that quiet kid in class that never does anything, and the moment they do something wrong, they just get a slap on the wrist because you're right, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you usually act in concordance to our morality here. But the asshole that's acting out all the time and does that one small little thing, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. That's what this is. And to act like that doesn't play, I just don't understand.
I actually think you saying that this happened because he has been pissing people off for a long time is more or less what I'm saying.
I think you're misconstruing what I'm saying. I'm not saying this is happening because he's pissing people off. I'm saying this is happening because he continually has broken laws. He continually says things that are just abhorrent. He continually just does things that are it's not just about pissing people off. It's about I
we
guess
just said saying things that are abhorrent. That's not illegal. That's subjective.
Legally, this man has broken the law a lot. You would disagree with that?
I would need to know. It seems like, yeah, he's probably skirted the law a few times.
Okay, so put whatever euphemism you want to put on it. There is a difference in making people upset or triggering the libs and actually breaking the law. Like, but with this whole election interference of this whole election fraud thing, like that's illegal. A lot of what he did was illegal. Can't do legally the shit that he did.
Like what?
He tried to coerce one of the mayors or something like that to do some.
Are you talking about the Georgia call?
Yeah,
it was a perfect call.
stuff like that, but pushing that rhetoric is just dangerous, dog. As you can see,
like the election was stolen.
Yeah,
you should go look up what Hillary said about the 2016 election.
That's not
said it was stolen.
That whole whataboutism shit is just
that's a fact. That's a fact, Jack.
It's just asinine to compare those two. That this man has been on a tirade for the last 4 years saying that they stole the election. It's rigged. It's rigged. When Hillary had maybe said it once or twice, if that.
She said a lot.
Okay, and this is why America politically will never be healed, because we can look at that and we are in two different realities. You see them on the same plane, right? And there's just no level of nuance that can be like discussed, because you just see bad and they're equally. But there's degrees of badness and there's degrees of mistruth that Trump perpetually gives off, that Republicans refuse to acknowledge.
I don't even disagree with that entirely.
They'll acknowledge it, but they won't put it into...
It seems like, though, you do agree, kind of, that this is a trumped up, no pun intended, like, would not be happening to a lot of people ordeal. That is, so in a sense, you don't disagree.
No, I do disagree. I disagree because you keep saying political prisoner. That's
okay.
Nelson Mandela was a political prisoner, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I disagree with the fact that, like, I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Biden fan, right? But the reason why they're not going to go after Biden the way they go after Trump is because he doesn't have the long. And I hate Biden, dog. I don't like this man. I voted against him, and I'm on the fence about voting, but I'm probably going to vote for him this election. But I just like. You're forcing my hand, right? I don't like this man, but to pretend that he has the resume of Trump legally and the resume of Trump publicly, it's just not even. We're not even.
I didn't say that.
Then when you defend it, that's what you give off, rather than just being like, yeah, dog, like he broke the law. And then that's I think that's the thing that kills me the most, is Republicans are supposed to be the law and order party. That is the law. But now, which I don't mind, by the way. Hold on, let me cook. I don't mind that Republicans are coming around that the justice system is fucked up. I don't mind that. So when they say get rid of the DOJ, when they say get rid of the FBI, when they say all of this shit, it's the exact same thing as we was like, yo, abolish the police too. But that's where they draw the line. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm with you that the system is fucked up, but we disagree on the reasons as to why.
Okay.
This could be a come together moment if y'all drop this, if y'all drop the jersey, the team jersey, if y'all drop that shit. Because, like, I'm not a Democrat, right? But, like, if y'all drop the jerseys, I'm with you. Fuck the DOJ. Fuck the FBI. Fuck the police.
I want the FBI wholly eliminated.
Me too. I want the police wholly eliminated.
That's what started the war and Civil War. The president eliminated the FBI.
Reimagine.
How quickly we forget the lessons taught to us by the movie Civil War. I blame Trump. I blame Trump for this. I think it is his fault that he's in trouble, and here's why. Because he did this like behind the scenes payment thing because he was afraid that if word got out that he fucked Stormy Daniels, he would not get elected president. That's why he did it through like all the back channels and stuff. He was wrong about that. Knowing what we know now, if the news came out about Trump fucking a porn star, you think anybody would change their mind about voting for him? No, not at all. That was a miscalculation on his part.
He could do literally almost anything.
Yeah, I think the grab her by the pussy tape might have been right before that.
It was close to the election.
Yeah,
it was like September, October. People are like, oh, he's completely cooked.
Yeah, people have said that about him so many times. People are saying about him now because he's got 34 felony charges or convictions. But at the time, he went behind the scenes because he was like, I need to get elected president. This would sink my chances. So let's just have her be quiet. And in reality, I think if the story had come out, he would have come out of it being like, he probably would have said like, I would never have had sex with her. She's not even that attractive. I'm not attracted to her. And then people would be like, oh, did he have sex? Did he not have sex? And then nobody would change their vote. But he put himself in a position where he broke the law to cover that up. He didn't have to do that. He could have let that shit come out and nobody would have been like, oh, boo Trump. It would have been like the same thing. We'd be in the same boat that we're at right now.
I agree.
I also think it opens up a big can of worms of like, I see a lot of people on the left celebrating because like Trump won't be able to vote for himself. And I'm just like, y'all are just doing way too much because like people have been fighting to get people in prison to vote for a long time. So like, this is the part of the left that I hate because Trump is getting all these charges thrown on him and he got convicted. That doesn't disband the fact that we've been fighting to get people to try to vote in his position for a long time. So like, just because your team won, dog, don't lose. Keep the main thing. That's why I hate the left, dog. It's just
a lot of libs telling on themselves afterwards.
Yeah,
telling that they weren't actually believing in that to begin with.
100%.
It's the meme of like more female prison guards, please. Equality. More female CEOs of defense contractors, please. We're gonna paint pride flags on the bombs.
That's yeah. I seen that, man.
Yeah. Anyways, it's an interesting time to be an American. This is crazy. I think sometimes as Americans we need to stop and just realize that this is a wild time to be alive. The craziest thing that happened back in like the 1970s was Nixon may have paid people to break into an office one time.
And you're underselling that quite a bit.
Then he lied about it. Well, yeah, I mean, there was some other stuff that went into it. But, like, in terms of getting clicks, we're talking fucking a porn star here. We're talking all these back channels with hilarious, shady dudes. His former lawyer flipping on him. There's a lot of stuff going on.
By the way, for the completely unpolitically motivated trial, do you know when his sentencing is?
Yes, I believe it's right before the Republican National Convention.
I think it's like 3 days before. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd have to look into seeing white-collar crimes when the sentencing dates usually are. I don't know. It does feel like it's close, but also they've been trying to prosecute him for a while, and so he's the one that's delayed the trial as much as possible and backed it up this far. So I don't know. I don't know if it's politically motivated or if it's normal or. It does feel
they could have done it. They could have done it that day. What cases are they putting ahead of Trump?
They usually don't sentence the day of.
Correct, but they could. The judge could say it's tomorrow if he wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but you're right. There's probably a way that they could fast track that. But again, I don't think Trump wants it to be fast tracked. I think his lawyers have delayed. That's like the strategy, is just push things off.
What are the chances you think he gets any?
I don't think he will.
0.
I don't think he will. I don't. He's a first time offender, so I don't think he's gonna have the book thrown at him. And I think the judge also knows that this is a very volatile situation. Putting a former president in prison, that's gonna be unprecedented.
I want it. I want them to sentence him to jail. The second he steps foot in a jail, he wins.
So I was thinking about that. It could make him more popular, but I also think that we live in a world where we're online a lot, and we're exposed to the more extreme lines of thinking at a disproportionate amount, because what gets the most attention, what gets the most shares, what gets the most retweets, it's people that have the hardest takes on either side, right? That's just kind of how the world works. So we're exposed to a lot of the more extreme lines of thinking. Normal people, I don't know if normal people would be more inclined to vote for somebody because he's in prison. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. I think that...
I don't think it's because he's in prison. I think most normal people see this situation and are...
dubious?
Turned off by the optics of it.
Dubious to the reasons why? I think that in like the mid-2000s to late 2000s, libs were under the assumption that Twitter was real life.
I think many still are.
I think now it's swung a little bit, where a lot of conservatives are under the assumption that Twitter is real life. And I think it's leading them down a more isolated path, just like that's the reason why we got Trump in the first place, is because I think a lot of people thought that their online personas or whatever, that was real life, and they became very out of touch with what regular people that don't partake in any of this online nonsense go through. I think that's swung a little bit to the other side now, where it's like Twitter is not real life.
Well, how so? I mean, Twitter's still overwhelmingly leftist.
I don't know about that.
I do.
You think so?
I know so.
I mean, if you look at like any of the
who is on Twitter?
A lot of people.
Humans.
Journalists, people who live in New York and LA and San Francisco.
Everybody's on Twitter, bro.
There are not a lot of people compared to like Facebook. There's almost nobody on Twitter.
I couldn't tell you. I'm not on Facebook. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know the numbers. I'll look them up. But Facebook is virtually everyone. Twitter is a very small portion.
It is smaller for sure.
I would agree with that. Yeah,
it is smaller.
But I'm saying I was going to say
now there are some wackos on Facebook.
I was going to say like proportionately, like each demographic probably has a representation on Twitter. That's kind of more what I meant.
There are 2.1 billion monthly active Facebook users and 330 million Twitter users. That's worldwide. But so that's what, 12, 15%?
Because I've seen a big shift in the last several years away from being a liberal place.
I don't agree with that.
I don't know if there's a way to quantify that at all besides
so
just
would
like
you say that
your own
Facebook is
experience.
more conservative?
I think Facebook is boomers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So what's popping in Facebook last week?
There's some crazy shit on Facebook.
I mean, if I opened Facebook right now, I wouldn't even know how to navigate that. I think I logged off in 2010 and haven't been on since.
So all this data is from 2019, but this is actually interesting, and I believe this 100%. 80% of all tweets in the U.S. come from 10% of Twitter users. Which
Power
I
users, yeah.
100% believe.
It makes sense, though. But see, the thing that happens, though, and this is why I still stay on Twitter, news still breaks there first. Or maybe it just breaks there to me because I'm on it.
No, it does because it's real time.
It's journalists. That's where they all live.
Yeah. But that's also why I like Twitter the most, because it's like my newspaper. I wake up in the morning, see what's popping.
We have some more big Trump news. He said that if he was elected, he will declassify the files on 9/11, JFK, and Jeffrey Epstein.
Please vote for me.
Didn't he say he was going to do that?
He said he was going to do, what did he say about the
JFK? He did talk about when he was president.
And then he said something like, if you knew what I knew, then you wouldn't declassify it either.
Yeah. Also, just real quick, percent of all U.S. adults who identify as Democrat, 30%, and who Twitter users who identify as Democrat, 36%, and U.S. adults who identify as Republican, 26%. Twitter users who identify as Republican, 21%. So Democrats are overrepresented on Twitter. Republicans are under.
When was that?
2019.
Yeah, 2019. That's what I'm saying. I think that since then it's
was 5
changed
years
quite a
ago,
bit.
bro.
Yeah,
That
actually makes me more confident in my prediction, or I guess it was assertion, that I think that Twitter has become more conservative than liberal. If it was 21% back then.
Well, the only data we have supports the opposite, and I am on Twitter a lot, and I don't think you're correct.
That data actually backs up what I was saying, was mid to late 2010s.
Well, no, it only backs up the first part, which is which is the opposite of your claim, and then the rest of your claim we don't have any
that
evidence
it's shifted
for.
since then. It'd be interesting to know. I don't know even if that's possible to do, because how are you gonna survey that?
I mean, they did it at some point.
But I would like to see the files declassified on JFK, 9/11. Yeah, bring all that shit out. Just don't know if he's going to do it. All right, let's see what else we got going on in the news. You guys want to talk a little WNBA?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I talked about it a little bit on Part of My Take, so I've said my piece on it, but I'll let you guys go off on it.
I listened to Part of My Take, so I know what you said, but Arian asked for me to ask you to explain what you said.
Okay, for all the double dippers out there that have listened to both, I apologize. I'll just do like a Cliff's Note version of it. I think that the beef could be very good for the WNBA, but they're not going about it the right way. I think that there's a lot of people in the league that are resentful and jealous of Caitlin Clark. She's making millions of dollars coming into a league where most players don't make that much money. She's receiving all the media attention. She's a white woman that's playing a predominantly black sport, and there's a lot of emotions around her coming in and everybody wanting to know about her, as opposed to people that have been in the league for a while. And you see this across a lot of other sports where there's a new young hotshot coming in and they get a lot of backlash. They get hatred. They're persona non grata for a while. I don't think that's anything particularly new. But what I don't like is she's getting like hip checked. Her opponents are like celebrating when they take cheap shots on her. Players really don't like her. That's fine. I wish that they would just say it with their chests afterwards and not try to act like everything's fine, that they don't care about Caitlin Clark. Like they're telling reporters, don't ask us about her in the post-game pressers. There's Angel Reese just didn't do one, and she got fined for that. And she's publicly said nice things about Caitlin Clark, like, no, it's all love. Like, I don't hate her. There's no problem there. There definitely is beef there, and it could be very, very good for the sport if you just stood on it and embraced it and said, like, yeah, I don't like her. I think she gets all the attention, and there's a lot of other good players in the league, and
but you said you think it's good for the WNBA.
I think it could be if they stood on their actions and they publicly said, yes, we don't like her.
I don't agree with that.
I think that would be good for the league, because it's like hatred makes you love sports. And for the longest time, women's sports was looked at, and it still is to a certain extent, which I don't really like, through this lens of let's root for everybody. Isn't everybody great? And I think that's an okay way to like promote it sometimes, but I also think that the reason that people get really into sports and the reason why they grow, why sports bring in a lot of money, is because you have fans who are fanatics who love their team, hate their opponent, and they get personally invested in these cities and in these teams, and it becomes a big part of their lives because there's rivalries, there's hatred. There's, like you talk to Philadelphia Eagle fans.
Okay.
So like I think a certain extent that's really, really good for a sport, and it gets people, we're talking about it. It's been in the national news. She's obviously much, much better than just like a normal first overall pick coming into the league. She's the all-time leading scorer in college basketball. She's awesome. People have strong opinions about her. I think she'll be a good WNBA player. But having rivalries and having like this team doesn't like this team, I think that's great for the sport.
All right. Do you think in the 30 or so year history of the WNBA that there have been rivalries?
Yes, there have.
Okay. We haven't heard about them.
Yeah.
So clearly rivalries are not necessarily driving popularity of the WNBA. It is exclusively Caitlin Clark. And I have never seen a business do a worse job of protecting its only valuable asset than the WNBA is doing. I think it's insane.
I wouldn't say only valuable asset.
When's the last time we talked about the WNBA before Caitlin Clark?
Sabrina Ionescu. Sorry, just
and how long did that last? 5 minutes?
Yeah, I mean she's a good player. People talk about the WNBA occasionally, but obviously with Caitlin Clark, it's way bigger. I'm not saying that she's not.
Nobody has ever talked about the WNBA on the scale that they are right now.
Correct.
And it's exclusively because of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I think almost exclusively.
So she is the unquestionably most valuable, arguably sole valuable asset of the WNBA, and they are letting other players go out there and literally assault her. It's crazy.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
It was a cheap shot.
Shit.
It was a cheap shot.
No, listen. I'm not saying that she was, battered
assaulted.
beyond.
You getting real Karen-esque vibes right now.
Okay, but I'm saying if you're the WNBA, you're letting other players go out there, not in the course of a play or anything, and just shove her to the floor.
Bro,
that's crazy.
That is why 90s NBA basketball was great. That shit is what I want to see from the NBA. I want to see your superstars be able to take one on the fucking chin. And I'm with you. Caitlin Clark is absolutely the reason why everybody watching. But it's like Floyd Mayweather, right? A lot of people watch him because they love his art skill and they love how he, his hand speed was amazing. But a lot of motherfuckers hated him and just want to see him lose. So everybody tuned in. Same vibe. Caitlin Clark is not an angel, bro. She's feisty. She be talking shit. She be bumping people too, right? Which makes the other players say, "Oh, cool, this your golden boy. I'm gonna come right back out and show you ain't."
All right, let me ask y'all this.
That is what's feuding this shit.
Let me ask y'all this. So this continues, and like every team hates the fever, right?
Run it.
And somebody goes up to Caitlin Clark, does something very similar, and Clark tears her ACL, and she's out for the season.
Oh my
God! No, just no. This isn't going where you think it's going. Let me finish. Damn. All right. So she tears her ACL. She's out for the season. Do people, because you're saying the rivalries are good, the hatred is good. Whatever team does it. Let's say it's the Chicago again. Do people are they now like, oh, I'm gonna watch the Sky games because I really hate them now? Do you think the viewership would remain consistent and people watching because they really hate the Sky and they want to watch?
If Caitlin's not playing anymore,
I hate this argument.
What I'm asking. You can say yes.
I'll tell you why I hate this argument, bro. I hate this argument because fuck that shit. They literally had Jordan rules with the Detroit Pistons. When that motherfucker go up, you hit his ass and you make him go on the floor. What bothers me about, and I am a known women's basketball has never been appealing to me, right? And this is why. If the WNBA wants to have the notoriety and wants to have the prestige the NBA does, in my opinion, that also comes with the same amount of critique, right? So when the Lakers play, you see me when the Lakers play. Anybody that shoots the ball and misses, I'm like, you sorry motherfucker, right? That's sports. When dudes just play, that's sports, right? And that women's basketball, there should be no thing. So when Caitlin Clark going up for 11, she gets hit, and if you like physical basketball, hit her. But this is what comes with it. There should be no, if you want sports to be equal, that is what it is.
And I think you and I are talking from different. I'm not watching it either way. I don't care. I'm talking from the
get the fuck out of here.
I'm talking from the perspective of the WNBA. I don't care.
Oh, well, then good.
They need to do a better job of protecting her, because if she, God forbid, something happens, they've lost their meal ticket.
Aaron, you laugh, but what if Angel Reese sends a venomous snake to Caitlin Clark in the mail, and she opens it up and it bites her, and then she's no longer playing in games? And are you going to tune in the Sky? Big T, you said it yourself. You're not going to watch either way. So
correct.
All due respect, you're not. They don't need to care about what you think.
Well, they need to care about somebody watching.
Correct. And I think that so they retroactively assessed Kennedy. They gave her a flagrant one after the fact. They probably should have called that in real time. That would have been good to do. But they went back and they called it.
Do you know the player's last name because you love the rivalry so much, or did you forget?
No, we've talked about it.
What was her name?
Kennedy C.
Damn.
Yeah, the defense rests.
Well,
you love the rivalries, huh?
No, listen. Next time these two teams play, are you going to watch? I'm going to watch.
I'm
I think a lot of
Yeah, you're
people
gonna watch Kennedy, last name TBD, and the Chicago Sky.
But that's what's but you don't know half of the players that you watch on football. Like you don't know all the offensive linemen.
Yeah, and I don't claim like, I'm the number one NFL fan. I love the rivalries.
There's very few businesses that want you to be the main draw. There's very few businesses. Even Apple. Apple's main goal is to get a 2% or a 3% hardcore fan base. They want casual fans. Casual fans is what makes it enjoyable. Fantasy football is what makes football so popular. Like you want casual fans. You want this. This is great.
I agree.
This is what I'm saying. Let these motherfuckers go at it. Just
but
like
if the only discourse around your league is like your number one superstar is getting thrashed by every team they play.
That was the NBA in the 80s and 90s. That was the NBA. And
the NBA was an established brand in the United States.
PFT, please back me up here. And all old heads feel like this. Basketball is soft now. Basketball is soft now because there used to be hand checking and there was shit like Jordan rules, the bad boys, the Pistons. People loved that shit. People love that shit. So all this I think it's because, and you call me woke, it's because it's a white woman. It's a white woman and we got to protect her. That's what it is. That's what it is.
That's why everyone hates her, certainly.
I think that has and yes, to a broader point, yes, race wars in America will always be prevalent, dog. Until there's some reckoning in the hundreds of years from now, race wars are a thing and they will be a thing. So when a white athlete gets going and is cooking, black athletes feel a certain way. It is what it is. That is just like when we had Oscar De La Hoya on, right? Remember we had Oscar De La Hoya, and I was like, yo, when I was growing up watching boxing matches, and it was a black dude versus a Mexican dude, I felt it all throughout my neighborhood. I felt it. If there was blacks and Mexicans in there watching, you pick the side. That's just the race relations of America. That's just where we at. And when you watching sports, Ricky Hatton versus Floyd Mayweather, whatever. It's a thing. It's always going to be a thing. It doesn't mean we got to go take to the streets and riot, but like, it's just you rooting for your squad. It is what it is. That is an element of sports that I don't think is ever going to be not a thing. So, but as of right now, it's a thing. Run with it.
If she gets injured, yes, that would be bad. That would be very, very bad for the league. But I don't think it's going to get to that level. I think there's going to be hard fouls on her. I think that she's going to be targeted definitely as if you get the chance, hammer, hit her hard. That's going to happen, and I think that will be good. Like next time these two teams play, I am definitely going to watch. I watched this game. I'm sorry, I don't know Kennedy's last name, but I watched this game and I saw it happen live because that's a good rivalry. And you know why it's a good rivalry is because it goes back to their college competition between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark when they hated each other, and Angel Reese was doing shit like putting the crown on the seat for like the petty passive aggressive stuff.
And Caitlin Clark did the Tony Ayo, you can't see me.
Yeah.
It is what it thought. That's what makes sports fun, bro. So like all this protector shit.
I don't disagree with you.
I'm just saying, armbarring her and shit, bro.
If I was the WNBA, I would be a little more protective of my number one asset.
I think they will be
into that shit if I'm them. I'm leaning in.
I think they'll be protective. I think they'll be on the lookout more for obvious flagrant one fouls, and they'll probably call those. The refs will be looking for it. But I do think that having like Caitlin Clark versus the world is good because she's such a good player that she's going to be good no matter what. And the second she starts beating teams that hate her, then there will be almost like a mutual respect thing that happens where her opponents that hate her are like, God damn, she keeps kicking her ass. Like I still don't like her, but God damn if she's not good. And then the rivalry grows. This is what happens with sports, and I think it's going to be very, very good for the WNBA, but I would like to see the players that don't like her stop pretending that they like her. And also I would like to see Caitlin Clark's teammates standing up for her.
It was like that with Larry Bird too.
That's why I said that on part of my take. It's like you have a very good white player that's coming into a predominantly black sport. The black players are resentful of all the attention that the white player is getting. They don't like that person, and then eventually, if the person's good enough, then there will be it'll just
respect.
Be a rivalry. Respect. Yeah, they're going to respect each other. They might not like each other, but they'll respect each other.
But this is to Big T's point, like if the media plays into that and if they go that route, it's just going to add fuel to the fire. Like that, because that shit is not if they was out there cold cock punching her and shit, yeah, I see you at a point. But that's not happening. She gets roughed up, you get pushed. It is what it is. And I've seen Kayla Clark play. She aggressive, bro. She jaw, right? You be talking shit. She's not out there just shooting threes and minding her business. She be talking shit. She be up in people's faces, which I like. Don't get me wrong. I fuck with that. But it's like I tell my kids, because I coach my kids in basketball. You can talk all the shit you want, but you better be willing to take it too. Better be willing to take that shit. So I'm all for it. This shit's fun to me. Like, but I think there's other variables in play too. You mentioned, you alluded to it, PFT. There's a lot of women, not just basketball players, but a lot of women in general that have been kind of lobbying to get more attention towards the NBA because they're really good athletes in the NBA. And I think a lot of them are kind of like salty that this is the reason why, right? And that is what it is. Like you can't control that. So I understand why they're upset, but I also understand Caitlin Clark's like, I was playing basketball. Why the fuck everybody mad at me?
But does that not indicate that if there is somebody in the WNBA worth watching, people will watch them?
That say that again.
So people are watching Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
On the whole, people haven't really watched the WNBA before, which would seem to indicate that if there is someone that the market determines is worth watching, people will watch it.
Yeah.
So so there's really nothing to be upset about.
No, because I mean there's different dynamics at play. Like I said, there's definitely a race element that probably nobody's going to talk about publicly on either side, right? But I don't got a dog in the fight, so like I understand the dynamics being a black athlete. There's that dynamic, but there's also the dynamic of like they've been building this brand for decades, and like this is the reason, and they might feel a certain way about why this is the reason. It's a rookie, she ain't really proven herself. Like, you know what was it, Diana Taurasi? She was like, she gonna go up there and play against some grown ass women, right? Like, so there's that element of like, you got to prove yourself to me first, right? Which I get it. I was in a league where you had people come in and then you see them in practice and you gotta show me, you know what I mean? Like you gotta strap it up. But there's a lot of moving variables. But I think laying into that whole victim, you gotta protect her bullshit that's the wrong move. To me, that's a bad play.
I think that there's definitely resentment, and race does come into it. But also, if you watch basketball, Caitlin Clark is not the person to say like she's only popular because she's white about. She's very, very good. Like she's
nice. It's a collection.
She's the best women's college basketball player in history. Yeah. And she solidified that if you look at the numbers. So if you're saying, oh, she's only getting this type of like spotlight on her because she's a white woman, you're missing the mark. Also, I feel bad for
it doesn't hurt though. I think that because like I said, two things can be true at the same time. There's been amazing women basketball players before that didn't get nowhere near the attention that she's getting, and she is the best, and she's getting astronomical amounts of, and so there is a disparity there, but for good reason. I think women's basketball is genuinely unmarketable to begin with, but to me, this is like a building block of that shit. Yeah, I'm excited for this shit. I hope I don't come across saying that's the reason because she's white. No, but there's an element in play there that I think will always be prevalent in American sports.
So I think that she's gonna take her lumps, and I feel bad for her, not because people are like hitting her, although that kind of sucks to get cheap shotted. That's not cool. But I feel bad for her because now this whole discussion is happening around Caitlin Clark. And I'm pretty sure she just wants to play basketball. I'm pretty sure she just wants to go out there and like light it up. I don't think she's comfortable having everybody like turn her presence in the WNBA into like this much broader cultural discussion that's happening right now around her, where people are getting into fights about Caitlin Clark. And I think she probably just wants to go out there and play basketball. So I do feel bad for her in that extent.
No, I don't.
Not a little bit.
No, bro. Like, when you feel bad for her, what do you mean?
Because I think that she doesn't want any part in like this big, broader conversation. I don't think she's comfortable having people like debate the merits of her status as like. She probably feels a little bit uncomfortable going to the WNBA, which she's always been a fan of, and now everyone's like, "Oh, Caitlin Clark is the reason why the WNBA exists." That's probably uncomfortable for her.
Oh, well, okay. In that sense, it's probably a little uncomfortable, but Feel bad for her. I mean, she's doing what she loves to do. She's making millions of dollars. Like, feel bad for her? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but her teammates do need to stand up for her. That was weird that they're not going to have her back.
I didn't see that. What happened with her teammates?
She gets tossed to the ground a few times a game, and her teammates aren't ever like getting in anybody's face, backing them down.
Oh, I guess I haven't paid attention to that.
So her teammates might have some resentment towards her as well, which is not good. That part's not good. But that's also just me speculating right now.
As an old school basketball fan, though, PSC,
yeah.
You understand where I'm coming from? Where
yes,
it's like
this is awesome.
That's I love that shit. Like I'm on record saying I want my sports more violent.
Yeah,
I want them more violent. Hell yeah. It's like when they started making those quarterback rules changes, like back about when I came in the league. Man, I hated that shit. You watch somebody come and slap Peyton Manning in a helmet and that's a flag, but get the fuck out. Like I hated that shit, right? Like I grew up watching Steve Young. I grew up watching John Elway. Like those kind of guys Randall Cunningham, who was like, we all played the same game, and now quarterbacks don't really play the same game. You can't really touch them cats.
That's actually a really good point. And so think about how the NFL treats quarterbacks and how the NBA treats its star players. Now imagine that the NFL had been flying commercial every year until just now, and then a generational talent comes into the league that changes the economics and every dynamic of the entire thing. How would the NFL treat that player?
That's exactly what happened to the NFL, dog. That happened when Peyton Manning and Tom Brady came into the league and started having success. That's exactly what happened.
Okay, exactly.
That's why I'm saying it's bullshit.
All right, I guess we just disagree on whether you should. I'm speaking purely from if I was the WNBA, what I would be doing.
No, there's a big difference though between a sport like football, where on any given play, a quarterback's knee could have exploded.
You can say that about any sport.
But in basketball, how frequent is it that you have an injury that takes place during a foul that severely derails a player's career?
I mean, not a ton, but
it doesn't.
It could happen.
It could happen, and I don't think that it's gotten to the point of that. And I think that the WNBA will tell players or tell refs to be on the lookout. If she's targeted, we need to call those flagrants, and we do need to protect her a little bit. But I also think that it's part of the game. Like being physical with people is part of the game.
What happened to her the other day, not part of the game.
Cheap shots, not part of the game. No, but physical basketball is going to be good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, under the law, right? Yeah, that's a foul. But it's like sometimes they had Hack and Shack, right? They had these rules where it's like basketball is a physical sport. And to me, when they started implementing this flopping shit and that non-hand checking, as a lover of basketball, I kind of stopped watching religiously like that because it just became really it's like a milquetoast kind of. It's just a vibe that I couldn't really get with, and that's why the Caitlin Clark shit is so fascinating because it's like, damn, they letting them play. How many times you hear that during a playoff game or something, and it gets physical and there's no fouls? So okay, they letting them play.
Mad Dog McKenzie, what's your perspective on the Caitlin Clark thing?
Oh, I don't have one. I'm not going to even insert myself into this.
Are we protect Caitlin Clark at all costs?
I think that what you guys were saying about what Big T was saying, she is your ticket, protect her from a financial standpoint and a well-being of the league standpoint. I think they need to be doing a better job of doing that kind of stuff to keep her the star that she is. From a basketball perspective, I have literally no input on that. I have never played a game of basketball in my life, so I'm not just one to.
I mean, I agree with what you and Big T are saying that they do need to protect her a little bit more, specifically in this instance of getting a cheap shot and then it's a flagrant, but it's not a flagrant one, and then after the fact they're trying to do it. I think that they're going to make sure that she's not getting thrown to the ground multiple times a game in plays that are not part of the game. Hard fouls, yeah, let that shit happen.
Yeah.
But if it's something outside of it, I think the league is smart enough to understand that we can't have that happening to her.
I also don't
so
think
one of the ones I seen, bro, not to cut you off, but one of the ones that I seen where she got pushed to the floor and she flopped.
Yeah.
Which is a flop. She pushed the other girl on the other end first.
Yeah.
There was a dude that came in. So it's she's just not like this. And if she was, I would absolutely say so. But she is very much so an aggressive player. And she talks shit which I don't want to misconstrue. I love that shit. Like one of my favorite, like all my favorite players are them scrappy, like get in your face, talk that shit. And so I like her. I love Caitlin Clark as a player. So it's like, but she's just not like this whole protect her thing is just. I hate
but
this
I don't
narrative.
think it's like it's not her fault. Like she's openly talking shit. She's not like in her press conference being like, "Oh, I'm so upset they pushed me over."
Yeah, she's not.
Agreed.
She's
Agreed.
not the
So I
one
don't
that's like
think it's
starting
fair
this conversation.
that people are coming at her when
Agreed.
in like, yeah, I think there should be beef and there should be drama. Like that's good for everyone because it like brings people to watching. But I don't think it's fair the criticism she's getting for just like being good at basketball. Like I understand the resentment because like everybody wants to be like her and get all the attention, but it's not really fair to like take it out on her because it's like not necessarily her fault for just like being good at basketball. And again, like these WNBA players are getting more than they've ever gotten
because of her
in their whole career. Yeah, because she's bringing eyes to the game. Like I just don't understand. Like, and again, like it's like sounds dumb, but it's like women should support women. Like they should all be on the same page outside of the game. But like in the game, there could be drama, there could be fouls and stuff. But like, I just think it's unfair that they're like she's helping and they're not appreciating
and that's,
it.
I hear that and I hear that narrative, but I'm like, if you actually watch her play, she doesn't just shoot the ball and go back to play defense. She's not passive. She talks shit. She be
No,
in
I know,
people's
but
face.
she's not.
And so it's like that's sports. That's why they take it out of her. If she was just like very non-aggressive, I don't even think we ain't even talking about this. If she's just chilling, she just makes threes and that's all she does. I really don't think this is an issue. But she be talking shit, dog.
I don't think so. I disagree with that.
Bro, look
women
at her
get
films,
very
bro.
petty and they.
Bro, she be in their faces though.
I think the other teams are like the players she's playing against. They're very competitive people too.
Yeah.
So they're seeing, okay, this is the new star of the league. This is the golden boy. Fuck that. I'm going to dominate her.
But she personally has never said anything like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so upset. Like she like is fine with talking shit and taking it.
Mhm.
Like I don't think she's ever gone out on like a press conference saying like she's upset that she's getting fouled and stuff. Maybe she's flopping, but I don't think
she's at the epicenter of this conversation of her like talking about it. I think it's just other people putting their own narratives like on her.
Yeah,
which is all good for the league.
Yes,
it's all good for the league.
Yeah, I think honestly, I agree with both of you guys and Big T. Like, I don't think she needs to be protected by the league. I think she can do that herself. But like, I think the players outside of the game of basketball like need to appreciate what she's doing for the game. Mm-hmm. And I think they're just like so resentful that I think a lot of them are just like annoyed.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if you put yourself in a super competitive mindset, most people that are at the top of their games in athletics wouldn't like at the game ends wouldn't be like, man, that sucks that she just beat me. But you know what?
Yeah.
Thank you, Caitlin, for everything that you've done for the sport. Like,
exactly.
If you're a dog out there, if you're at the top of your game, you're like, fuck her. I hate her. And I think it's going to be good. People are going to watch next time these two teams play. The ratings are going to be crazy for it.
Yeah,
I just want them to be honest about it. I want the players that don't like her to be like, yeah, we don't like her. Like, that's okay. You can say that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think that I don't think you can.
I think it all comes back to positives. Like it brings eyes to the WNBA, whether it's a negative for Caitlin Clark or a positive for Caitlin Clark. But I think people need to remember how their bread is getting buttered at this exact point in time.
It's going to be a storyline that expands.
Yeah, exactly.
Like stories like this, sports are it's no different than watching reality TV. It is reality TV.
Yeah, exactly.
And in this rivalry, you're going to have somebody else that, like Kennedy, she was not part of the rivalry. She was Angel Reese's teammate. It was Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. Now Kennedy is a part of it. Now people know her in the WNBA. Now you're going to have somebody else that maybe might be on Caitlin Clark's side that goes out there, fouls somebody else hard or stands up for her. Now she's a part of the story. Now more people are talking about that storyline that's going to evolve and develop, and then it's going to bring in more revenue for the league in the long term, more viewership. I think it's good. I don't want to see them. I don't want to take the physicality out of it entirely, but yeah, don't let her get like her knees taken out with a malicious cheap shot or anything.
Not happening, bro.
It's like the ice skaters. What's her
Oh
name?
yeah, Tanya Harding.
Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if Angel Reese just met her in the hallway and hit her in the knee with a folding chair.
Well, that'd be good for the league, according to y'all. That'd be great.
Wow, blood, you're bugging.
People couldn't wait to watch the Sky and the Mystics after that. I'm glad you're such a big WNBA fan now.
I mean,
I'm not. Though. That's the funny thing. I'm actually.
Well, I was talking to PFT.
Oh,
I'm not. No, by no means am I a huge WNBA fan. I've never ever claimed to be a big WNBA fan. It's never been. I understand who like the stars in the league are, but I've never like sat down and been like, "Sweet, we've got Breanna Stewart playing tonight. I'm definitely gonna watch." But now you bet your ass I'm gonna watch this rematch. When's the next time they play?
Yeah, I was like, when is it? Because I'm definitely going.
Yeah, let's look up the schedule.
There's only 12 teams. It can't be too long.
Sky, yeah.
All right, let's do a couple voicemails.
The next time they play is June 16th and June 23rd.
Let's go.
Ooh.
Is it in Chicago?
Oh my God.
The 23rd one is in Chicago, yes.
I wonder what the ticket prices are for
Pull
that.
up. Hey, if it's not crazy, pull up.
With Caitlin Clark, I would imagine they're not cheap.
Let's see.
No.
Looking it up on.
You said June 23rd?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That arena's got good pretzels.
Is it the
Are they soft or are they hard?
Where do they play?
Yeah, they're soft pretzels.
Hey, I'm with you then, brother. Yeah, we on the same page there.
Where do they play?
What's your favorite pretzel dipping sauce, though?
$250 for section 200.
Jeez Louise.
See?
That's
500
Caitlin Clark.
for-
Now look at the games when she's not playing.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
let's compare the Caitlin Clark games against teams that aren't the Chicago Sky.
Big T.
That's what I'm saying.
Dipping sauce.
I generally don't dip pretzels in a ton of shit, but like
You just raw dog pretzel?
most of the time, yeah. But like sometimes a spicy mustard or something.
Spicy
Yeah,
mustard. Okay,
cheese.
we on the same page.
Cheese and mustard.
I don't like cheese a lot.
Yeah, I'm not a cheese guy.
All right, here we go. The Skies. Oh no, I'm looking at the Skies home games. So, $40, $49, $38, $27, $229.
One of these things is not like the other, I reckon.
Right. So now let's look at.
Caitlin Clark effect, eh?
Now let's look at the
Fever.
Fever.
Every Fever game is going to be like that.
Where is the Fever? What city?
Indiana.
Indianapolis.
Perfect. That's some Larry Bird shit right there.
Yeah.
Indiana Fever, WNBA.
What city is the Indiana Fever in?
Indianapolis.
Oh, it's in Indianapolis. Okay.
Okay, Indiana Fever games. Fever at Sun, $88. Sky, Mystics at Fever, $2 plus. Fever Fever at the Dream, $54. Fever at the Sky, $229. Fever at the Storm, $60.
Where are the seats? Where are you looking at?
These are the get-in prices I'm seeing on Game Time right now. So, that rivalry is a thing now. It's officially a thing.
Yeah.
The market has spoken.
Love it.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Before we get to our voicemail here, I want to talk to you guys about BetterHelp because when life goes so fast, it's important to take a moment to celebrate your wins. Make adjustments for the rest of the year. Therapy can help you take stock of your progress and set achievable goals for the next 6 months. When was the last time that you sat down and you made yourself write down your goals, commit to them? It can benefit you a lot. I've personally benefited from therapy in the past. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. BetterHelp. Take a moment. Visit BetterHelp.com/dose today. Get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/dose. All right, voicemails.
Okay.
What's going on, guys? My name's Dave. I'm from Chicago. Before I ask my question, I had a quick throwback to what's the beef or where's the beef, whatever that old segment was called. PFT. Over the years, you've just thrown a lot of shade at Neil Young. And in the last episode, you're like, oh, I bet Neil Young has a strong opinion about that. And I don't know, man. Neil Young is a legend, one of the greatest songwriters of all time, in my opinion. Old Man, Don't Let It Bring You Down, Heart of Gold, For the Turnstiles. Just incredible. And I don't get why you don't like him. Anyway, my question is,
It's fair.
if you were to star in a movie, what role would each of you fit into best? What role would you guys play in a movie? Like, would you be a villain? Would you be like the detective, the anti-hero? You know, would you be the comedic relief? What role would you fit into best in a film? Yeah, love you guys. Stay gorgeous and handsome, and thanks for all you do.
All right, that's a fair take on the Neil Young thing. Didn't realize I had been so outspoken against Neil Young.
Neither did I.
I'm not a huge fan of Neil Young's. Just somebody I never really got into that much. I'm not a huge fan of his voice. I guess it's a personal taste thing. I don't have any animosity towards him. I just not one of my favorite artists.
Is he the guy who took his music off Spotify when they got Rogan
Yes.
and then put it back like 2 weeks later?
He put it, I think it was a couple years later, but yes.
Well, it's only been a couple years.
But yeah, that was him. That was Neil. So the question, what role would you play in a movie? This is wide open.
Easy for me. Like one of those villains that just it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like the Joker in The Dark Knight. Like it makes sense.
I thought you were gonna say Diddy's client.
Or a football
Here
player
you
getting
go.
kicked.
Here you go. Here y'all go again. Diddy's client. That's a motherfucker.
Fact or fiction?
Definitely, to me, I'd be a villain because more often than not, I'm finding myself rooting for the villain.
Okay. I don't know if you could play a villain though. You gotta have a certain look about you.
I don't like how you said that, though.
That's kind of like reverse racist that you're saying a black guy can't be the villain.
No, I'm saying Arian's like a baby face.
Aw, you trying to call me cute? You just call me cute, man?
It's a wrestling term, Arian. You're not a
I don't know.
heel. You're not a heel. You're
It's
a
okay if
face.
you think I'm handsome, brother.
I do think you're handsome, but that's not
Thanks,
what I'm
man.
saying. You're welcome.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate me? Are you just walking
12,
by, passing
15,
by?
16.
15.
Yeah. That's
I'll
why.
take it.
Yeah. Anytime you come to town, I'm like, fuck, I got to get dressed up nice. Arian's here.
I gotta wear my good commander's hat.
Yeah. Facts. No, I'm just saying, like, you don't give me villain vibes. You give me, like, nice guy vibes.
That's perfect for a villain.
I guess, yeah.
The sneaky villain.
Yeah, sneaky
Yeah.
villain. All right, I think I would be like the stoner roommate.
Yeah, I can see that.
It doesn't really matter where the movie's set. I'm just the stoner roommate.
You want to be in a Rogan movie?
Yeah. I could.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen, yeah. I could be any role. I think they're all stoner roommates.
Yeah, I think that's the plot of most of them.
Yeah, one guy, and then he's got a bunch of stoner roommates.
Yeah.
And see if the one guy can do something besides get stoned with his friends. I could play Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, you can.
Every time I hear that name, bro. Yeah, Forrest Gump's funny as hell.
Magic legs. Do you think they could make Forrest Gump now?
Yeah. There's a show.
I think
no,
there would be people protesting.
No, there's a show right now that my daughter watching. It's about this autistic daughter, and this nigga, his acting is, in my opinion, not the best. And so he acts autistic, and he goes around and I watched one episode of it with her, and I'm never gonna watch another one. But like the whole premise is he's autistic, and it's like dilemmas he goes through. Yeah, they can do it.
You know that dude Jeremy Strong? He was Kendall Roy on Succession.
Yes, I do.
So okay,
There
add
she
that,
goes,
to
sneaky.
add that to the list.
No,
of
no,
boys
no,
Mad
no,
Dog has
no,
a crush
no,
on.
no.
Hey,
No.
Mad Dog, bro, you.
All right,
She
so
didn't
far,
speak. She sang.
so far it's
I am
Harry Lyles, any male tennis player.
Who's Harry Lyles?
or-
Oh, Harry Styles.
Harry Styles, yeah.
Isn't Harry Lyles a reporter
He
on
is
ESPN?
a ESPN reporter. You probably have a thing for him too.
No, don't.
I'm gonna
Jeremy Strong.
Google him. I don't know. What he
Jeremy
look like.
Strong is not on my list. I don't want that on my list. I admire his ability to act.
Well, he's a method actor.
Yeah, no. He's not. I don't think he's cute. There are other cute boys on that show, but no.
So Jeremy Strong in the movie The Judge, it's with Robert Downey Jr. and who else? Robert Duvall's in it.
Decent movie.
Yeah, I would say that's exactly right. Decent movie.
Not a bad movie.
Good cast.
Yeah. I think people said it was a bad movie, but it's not bad.
Cast a lot better than the script, I would say, for that. But it's a decent movie. Yeah. It's decent. Anyways, Jeremy Strong played, I believe it was a brother who was on the spectrum. He was definitely, what's the right word I'm looking for? He had challenges mental challenges that he
Okay.
was trying to overcome. And Jeremy Strong's a method actor, and apparently even on days where they weren't shooting scenes with him, he was just wandering around the set acting like he was on the spectrum and like crying and having these freakouts. And everybody was like, what the fuck is this guy's deal?
I love that.
Do you?
Yeah, man. Like method acting is like a real, like when you get into that mode, like in pulling that emotion out. Like, so have you seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Yep.
So Leonardo DiCaprio, like that is a powerful, like, I don't know. There was just some powerful scenes in there where I teared up, and I don't know anybody in my life personally that's like that, but like I can empathize with that, right? And maybe somebody that does maybe feels a certain way, and I would definitely acquiesce to their feelings and emotions about it because I don't have to deal with it. But it made me feel very more, much more aware and kind because people deal with that kind of stuff. And I think when you go method and do those kind of things, and it's a very powerful performance, it can change people's perspective.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I'm just thinking of from the opinion of like the craft services guy.
It's probably
like
weird.
setting stuff up, and here comes Jeremy Strong just crying at you.
That's definitely probably weird. Niggas out was trying to put the bagels out and you acting weird, bro.
There's
I
no
can see that.
garlic bagels. I think Mad Dog could play Zendaya's role from Dune 2. I think she would really like that.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Or challengers.
Or challengers.
Or Challengers.
Or Dune 1. Yeah.
I'm just naming any love interest of Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah. Add him to
Wait,
my list.
I've seen both Dunes. Timothy who?
He's the main guy.
I forget what he looks like.
He's Paul.
He's the guy that when he walks on the screen, you're like, oh, Mad Dog has a crush on him.
Yeah.
Timothy, how do you spell it? What is it?
Chalamet.
Chalamet?
Chalamet. CHALA.
Okay.
It's Paul. It's Muad'Dib.
Oh, yeah, okay. I seen this. Yeah, he's the main guy.
Yeah, he's the main dude.
They're calling him Muad'Dib. Have you seen that TikTok?
No.
Oh, Arian, you haven't seen it? You like Dune, right?
I've watched both of them.
Okay, so I do not like Dune, but there's a TikTok of if the sandworm was Trump, and it's hysterical. I'll find it.
Is it the same guy that did the if Trump was talking about like what Sega games? I think it was Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'm not sure.
He's talking about. There's one where he's talking about like Pokemon. If Trump was collecting Pokemon,
It might be. I don't know.
because that guy rocks. Does he have big glasses?
No, it's this guy.
Oh, one of those face things. One of those face filters. Big T, what role would you play?
So this is me carving out a role in a movie, or picking an existing.
Carving out a role.
I mean, I love being Big T so much. I don't know what else I would want to do.
Right. Documentary.
Like,
You could be like Kevin Hart's security guard
why is that fun?
in a movie.
Because you're big.
I'm just saying, like
one of
you-
those high school football dads from a high school football movie. Like, what was
Yeah,
that
maybe-
one? Fire that fucking pigskin. What movie is that?
Varsity Blues.
Yeah, Varsity Blues. He was one
Yeah.
of those dads, those overbearing high school football dads.
Dad at like 2-a-days, just leaning up against the fence, talking with the other dads.
Yeah, why not a good dad? Why not Tim McGraw from The Blind Side?
Oh, you think he was good?
Yeah, he was good.
Okay. All right.
I think they disagree now, but in the movie he's good.
He was good in the movie, yes.
Not Tim McGraw from Friday Night Lights. That's bad Tim McGraw.
Yeah. Would they have you do on the yak? You're like a father that's showing up for a court appearance, child custody, calling your ex-wife crazy, but you're right.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we had the movie premiere and I wore my one black suit.
Yeah. You played that role very good. Would you say like that woman is insane?
Dan texted me. It was like, come into the yak, and they were like, will you just go into that mic and read those lines? And I was like, what is this? They're like, you're going into a child custody hearing, but you're correct or something. And it was, she's crazy. I forget all, but.
All right. Good.
I got a question.
Yep.
Was y'all ever just dress up for no reason? Like in a suit, a nice suit, or like a nice dress, ladies?
No.
No.
Y'all want to do it?
No.
No.
Okay, cool. Thanks for playing.
I'm sorry for shooting it down. Every now and again, I put on a collared shirt.
I wear business cash most of the time.
I just haven't worn a suit for years. So I was like, well, we just show up to a pod and we all suited and booted. You know what I mean?
If you're in person, maybe we can figure out a reason to.
Yeah.
Maybe we do a mock trial.
Oh, that would be fun.
Ooh,
Yeah, you want to do a mock trial?
I'm game.
Arian,
Me versus Arian. Big T's the judge.
yeah.
Yes.
I like this.
Yes.
I like this idea.
Big T, you could pull off a black robe like
Yes.
nobody's
Okay.
business.
No, I'm in. I'm in.
Can we have
Okay.
Big T wear one of the powdered wigs?
Barrister's wig.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a stylistic choice that Big T will have to make.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
And you guys are the jury. I like this.
Are we the jury, Mackenzie?
We
Well,
could get 10 more.
We'll get some other people
Yeah,
to be
we
the
can get
jury.
people in on it.
Maybe if God willing, we make the dozen playoffs. We do it while you're here for that.
I'm in.
All right, mock
I'm
trial,
God willing, if you guys lock in, if we all lock in today.
and then we'll do Model UN later.
Well, what's the difference?
What is Model UN?
You just pretend to be from different countries, and then you do diplomacy. You ignore human rights violations.
UN. Got you.
Yeah. All right, mock trial. Mock trial coming later, and then
Locked
on
in.
Thursday's episode, we're gonna do Abraham Lincoln, the conspiracy surrounding his assassination, and yeah, we will see you guys then. Love you guys.
Whoa.